All right, welcome to the Byzantine Empire. I believe this is chapter 6 in your textbook. We are backtracking a little bit from the fall of Rome. So, in the last, 5 chapters, we've basically talked about feudalism in Western Europe. And obviously, there's a heavy focus on Western Europe, but in reality, there was a lot of amazing things going on in the Eastern Empire, or what remained of the Roman Empire in the East. When Rome fell, you had the Byzantine Empire, which was essentially part of the Roman Empire, that remained and thrived for over 1,000 years until the Turks invaded and took over and established the Ottoman Empire in 1453. Yes, there were things like the Crusades, the Nicaret riots. There are a lot of things that are going to happen in that 1,000 years in the Byzantine Empire, but overall, it's an incredibly strong empire. Some may argue it's as strong as the Roman Empire. I don't know, your call. We're going to get started here with just looking at the territory of the Byzantine Empire. The majority of it obviously is going to be taken part of North Africa, including heavily Egypt, present day Israel, and Turkey, is going to encompass most of the Byzantine Empire. The Roman Empire of the East is what they would call it. This is actually when Emperor Constantine moved the empire to the Byzantine Empire to the east. He names it New Rome. It's later going to be called Constantinople. And then when the Turks take over in 1450, they will name it Istanbul. So sometimes you'll hear Istanbul or Constantinople. It's the same city, just renamed since the time of Emperor Constantine, one of the Roman emperors. Uh, the Byzantine Empire is located in Europe and Asia, or Eurasia, if you want to use that terminology, you can. It was originally considered the Roman Empire of the East, and people who live in the Eastern Empire speak Greek, but they consider themselves still Romans. In fact, when Emperor Justinian invades the western part of the old Roman Empire, he believes he's going to reunite and restore the greatness of Rome. Kind of like Napoleon, kind of like Mussolini. Everybody wants to restore the greatness of the Roman Empire. Nobody ever succeeds, but it's always the goal for them. Another big thing that that Byzantine Empire is going to be known for is the Eastern Orthodox Church. They're no longer practicing Catholicism. They will have a split from the Catholic Church, and not most, a lot of the things that are practiced within the Roman Catholic religion will be practiced the same in the Eastern Orthodox Church, but they do things a little bit more differently. A little bit more differently. They do things more differently, or just differently. Moving on here. So this is just a picture of the Bosphorus Strait right here. It connects the Black Sea and the Mediterranean Sea, and also Istanbul, the capital city, is established right there at the head of the Bosphorus Strait. I thought that was actually a really cool picture. What makes Constantinople so great? It is an incredibly advanced city. It has sewer systems. Most cities in the Middle Ages do not have that. After the Roman Empire fell, sewage systems, aqueducts, that came, people tore those apart. But in the Eastern Roman Empire, now the Byzantine Empire, they still have them. It is still continuing. They have a more civilized lifestyle. They have hospitals. They take care of the elderly. They make sure that all of their people get fed. In fact, in times of famine, they make sure that all of the poor people get bread. That was the main staple for them to eat. So they would make sure that everybody always had bread, because if they didn't, they would riot. So obviously, you want to make sure that people aren't starving. They're famous for what in this picture is the hippodrome. You can see there's actually two steeples in the back a little bit, and that's actually what the horses would race around. And obviously, hippodrome, you guys can read, just means hippo, horse. Drome is like a race course. Could seat up to 60,000. So very similar to having a coliseum like they did in Rome. This is just a picture of the site of the original hippodrome. You can see those two, what do I want to say, like temples, the little towers on the left. That is actually part of where the hippodrome used to be. So obviously it's not there anymore. But on the right, you can see the Hagia Sophia, which is an incredibly gorgeous building. It was at time a Catholic church, and then it was later turned into a temple of worship, and you can look at pictures of it today, and there you'll see the Islamic signs. So a couple people we're going to talk about are going to be Emperor Justinian and Empress Theodora, and I actually have a little video about them, but I'm not going to show that obviously today since I'm not there. You can see behind Emperor Justinian, you can see there is like the circle of red. That is just another example of the nimbus. And Emperor Justinian, not really well liked. He was kind of a wuss. And we'll talk about that a little bit more with the Nika rebellion. It was really Empress Theodora, going back here real quick, it was really her who kind of wore the pants and made things happen. She was the driving force. The people really loved her because she actually came from nothing. She was lower class. Um, they say that she was an actress with all that entails of the time period. But Emperor Justinian himself ruled for quite a long time, and he was obviously focusing on that goal to reunite the Roman Empire, and then spread, of course, the true religion, which at this time period for him is Christianity. He was also, just a little side note about him, he is actually not Roman, of pure Roman lineage. He's actually part Gothic. So if you were living in the Byzantine Empire, you probably were more of a mixed ancestry at that time. The Nika riots. I'm going to stop right here, actually, because I have a reading for you guys to read, and then you guys can work on that in class, and I will send some questions with that. So enjoy the Nika riots. The one thing I do want to mention is the only reason that the Justinian is able to defeat them is because Theodora convinces Justinian not to flee the city. She was the one that said, you better stay and fight, because she wanted to die an empress rather than run away and become a low-class citizen.